Hey folks, sorry about the delay. I was having some technical difficulties. So thank you for your patience.
Hello.
All right.
Hey guys, just so you know, my camera is not working, but it's Elin and I'm here.
Awesome. Thank you.
I am also here and my camera is also not working as well. So trying to figure out how to change I don't know what name you see.
Awesome. Well, it looks like we are all here. Why don't we go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:35 p.m. And then Gina, when you're ready, we can get the roll call going.
All right. Okay, Keith,
Present.
Miriam,
Present.
Greg,
Greg's here. He's just
I so I'll go ahead and mark him. Jamie,
Here.
Robin. Okay, I don't see Robin, right? Oh no, I see
Robin's here.
Okay, Elin, which it looks like she's here, and then Allison.
Yeah.
Great. Good to see everybody here tonight. If anyone had time to review the minutes, I have, and I entertain a motion to get those approved.
I second. Oh wait, I motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 27th.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, I second that. The minutes.
Awesome. Thank you. All those in favor say aye or thumbs up in their box.
Aye.
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 Hi.
Aye.
Great. And now we'll get into our scheduled business. I wanted to start with some information that I heard from the public of people who had emailed, and both the mayor and I requesting that the city do a land acknowledgement. Typically, they're on meeting agendas or they're posted on the city's website. And I wanted to get everyone's feedback on their thoughts on that. I don't think it's something that we would have to do at every single meeting before a meeting starts, but just including those on our meeting agendas as well as on our website could add to making a more welcoming environment for people in our community.
I love it.
I agree. I think it's important to acknowledge this land because it was stolen land.
Mm-hmm. Any other feedback on that?
So Keith, can I just ask, it's like not necessarily at the start of, are we talking about all city meetings or?
So it's not something that has to be read at the beginning of every meeting. Typically what other municipalities have done, I looked into this after hearing from someone from the public. It's just included on meeting agendas and included on the city's website. And if city council wants to do some kind of formal acknowledgement, they can. And what I was going to ask everyone to vote on tonight was just that we could draft something up. The Tribes of Grand Ronde have a lot of resources on their website about how to write these ourselves so that we're not asking them to write one for everyone all the time. So yeah, I would, if everyone's interested in that, we could take a vote on getting one drafted and approved through this body, and then we can recommend that to city council.
do we need to make a motion then to go ahead and start with the, get a group together to come up with a land acknowledgement, or do we need to make a motion of the land acknowledgement and then do another vote on who wants to be in the group if everybody agrees?
No, I don't think we need to do any votes on it. I would just say anyone interested, I'm interested in working on this. So if you're interested in working on it with me, we can set up some time to do that. Allison?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Okay. Yeah, so I will make note of who's interested in working on that with me, and we can put something together and we'll bring it back to the body, and then we'll vote on whether we want to move forward with presenting that recommendation to council.
What would be the timeline?
I would like to have this prepared for our next meeting. Yes, Kim?
So council is taking a 6-week break between beginning of August and the middle of September. So the earliest we would be able to bring it back would be September for council to hear it. So just wanted to let you guys know in that capacity. So maybe it would be appropriate for October, Indigenous Peoples Day. I don't necessarily know if that's appropriate or not, but that might tie in well on everybody's timeline.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Hey, can I ask real quick? I missed on whether Elin or Robin had approved the minutes.
This is Elin, and yes, I approved the minutes.
Okay, thanks. Robin, I didn't catch if you did or not.
Oh no, did we lose Robin? It looks like we lost Robin.
So I'll just put 6 for now and wait to hear.
Yes. Yeah, so at least right now we can just start with I'll contact folks that are interested in working on this with me. Oh, Robin's back. Hey, Robin, can you let Gina know if you voted in favor of approving the meeting minutes from the previous meeting?
I did vote in favor of approving the minutes from the previous meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. I couldn't hear any of you. It looked like you were all on mute. And, okay.
Oh yeah, sometimes it'll freeze up and then you're kind of in la la land for a minute.
I had a good meeting with myself to start.
Great. So those I've got Allison, Miriam. Was anyone else interested in working on the land acknowledgement with me?
I certainly would.
Right. Oh, okay. And Robin. Okay, I've got that noted. And then next on our agenda is the suggestion of an in-person retreat. This came from Allison. So if you'd like to speak on that, Allison.
Sure. I think this kind of dovetails with a couple different things, one of which is, you know, as we've had these conversations about changing the name of this commission, we've been going, okay, so, you know, what's going to accurately capture what it is that we're doing? And in some conversation with Keith and like, spoiler alert, update on the Coffee with the Commissioner, I've gone, what are we telling people? Like, what's our message here? What, you know, if we had somebody, like if I had somebody come up to me today and say, all right, so what are you doing as a commissioner with the HRC? I think that some parts of our agenda are a little unclear, not our, you know, physical agenda that Gina sends out, but of what we're actually trying to do. So I had suggested to Keith that we try to have some in-person, more concentrated time to set some of those priorities. It seems like it'd be a great time. I know we have to go to City Council to talk about the change of this name, but to say, like, you know, from our charter as this commission, what is it, like, how do we realize some of the things that we're charged to do? What's our, like, excuse the corporate language, but like, how do we brand this commission so that the people who we represent understand what we're doing and know why they would come and speak to us about our work on the commission. So with that, I'm proposing that we have, you know, like a 2-hour focused meeting where we can meet in person. We can kind of identify some of the goals and strategies we want to implement for, you know, for the remainder of this year and for next year.
Mm-hmm. Kim, are we able to schedule those kind of meetings, or do all of our meetings have to be public, right?
They'll have to be public, but we can schedule another time. And as long as Gina and I will chat to make sure we've got the posting notice. I think it's 2 weeks, 10 days, 7 days. I don't know. We'll figure it out by the time the next time comes around. But as long as you give us a little bit of leeway, we should be able to post it accurately.
Miriam?
Wouldn't it be called a work session since we'll be talking about this and work sessions are public? So technically, as long as it indicates so that we're meeting as a work session, that suffice because we're letting the public know.
Mm-hmm.
And once a date is selected, let me know as we can find a spot either in City Hall or maybe at the Riverfront Community Center. Just that would be accommodating for this type of meeting.
Awesome.
Tim, do you have access to any kind of like survey or scheduling software, or could we have some support on that and just getting something like that out so we can land on a date that works for folks?
Sure. So I can put together a doodle poll and send one out. Are we thinking middle of the day, evening? If I can get a little bit of guidance as to what we're thinking for a more concentrated time frame, yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Yeah, and I just want to check in on something. So sorry, I'm backtracking,
No
but I just
worries.
want to make sure I get something clear. Okay, so I have that Allison, Miriam, and Robin, we're going to help Keith draft that acknowledgement, land acknowledgement. Kim, is that considered a meeting then? Because there's four
That is-
people. Should it only be 3?
That is correct. Good
Well,
catch.
if you want to provide stuff in writing, then one of us or two could be an advisor via email, right?
As long as it goes individually as opposed to a group.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right on the thing.
Okay, great.
And I would say as
Anything-
for the meeting time, Kim, I would say probably about this time we're meeting for the HRC meeting, just because I do have work and I will be gone too in August. So for me to work on my schedule to be able to attend, it would have to be after work.
So evening, sometime in September. That
That
would work for
works.
me.
That works on
That
my
would
end
work.
as well.
Do you
Great.
want to make it the
Evening.
September meeting?
We can, but if we're doing
Yes.
a work session, are we able to do votes on some of the stuff we'll be bringing back, or no?
I'm wondering,
Or we could do it hybrid.
we could potentially do it hybrid. I'll take a look. We'll poke around.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Great. And then is there anything else on the in-person retreat that people would like to give feedback or ideas on? Awesome. Next on our agenda, I added creating an equity, diversity, and inclusion survey for 2024. I know Kim and I think Matt told me that the city now has access to some software to do community feedback, and we can kind of do that at will. So I think it would be a good idea. Talked about doing this in the past, and even when Steph Newton was on the commission, about getting some kind of survey put together so that we could hear from the public what their experiences are on the city and how we can be more informed on what we should be doing in the community to address those, or make good experiences even better. So I would like to also get formed a small committee of no more than 3 folks to start working on drafting EDI survey for next year.
I'll volunteer. I have experience in drafting EDI, well, with Justice Incorporated into it.
That would be great, Miriam.
I do surveys as part of my business, so I'm happy to do that too.
Awesome. Cool. And I can be on that, or if someone else wants to tag in and work on it.
I'll just say
Awesome.
I'm interested if somebody doesn't have the bandwidth. I have a research background, so.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's something we can work on and share individually as we get going. And other than that, anything else on the survey feedback or ideas? Cool. Next on our agenda is the HRC meeting time. We changed our time a while back, hoping that this would be better for everyone. And we just want to check in and see where we're at. Is it still a good time for everyone? Do we need to think about different times so that everyone can be at the meeting?
I want to
Where
thank
are we at?
everybody. I want to thank
Oh, go
everybody for voting and who sent me their information. And based on what we collected back, 7 o'clock start time seems to work best for folks. So if you're okay with that, we can move it back to 7 starting in August.
Okay. If it works for everyone, I will be where I need to be.
Yeah.
Was that the majority, Kim? Was it like 3 out of 4?
It was the
'Cause
majority.
I didn't send my vote because I didn't get the email until you're mentioning it.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't receive the email either.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying if you already made a decision like that, I don't think that would be fair for those that weren't able to vote.
I'll have to figure out why you all did not get the email as it was sent out through the listserv. So, well, I guess I don't have the breakdown in front of me. Elin and Miriam, if you wouldn't mind sending me the information as to either would 6
Sure.
o'clock work better or 7 o'clock work better for a start time, I can go back and retabulate that. And I guess as long as the group is okay with me just sending out a directive, that sounds awful to say, but instead of hey, let's have further conversation, say, here's what the majority is, and we'll see you at this time in August. If you're okay with that, then we should be good to go.
So the time options are 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. No more 6:30.
Correct.
Okay.
Still on the 4th Tuesday of the month.
Right, great. Miriam and Elin, you guys can follow up with Kim on that. And then next on our agenda is HRC project updates and coffee with the commissioners. First on there, Allison.
Yeah, as I said before, I kind of like put the lead on this on hold because since the point of this is really to kind of do a public facing activity where we are inviting people to talk with us about the HRC. This is where I was like, I think we need a retreat. I think we need to like better identify what our goals are. So I will say that the planning for that is on hold, I think, until we have a better understanding of what the point of that coffee with a commissioner is. And that really ties in with kind of those overarching goals for this commission.
Great, thank you. And then Greg, do you have anything on the community walk?
Not a whole lot. I walked the route last night and it plenty of parking, safe, and so just put it on your calendar, September 9th at 10 a.m.
Talking water?
Kim, any other? Yes. Talking water, starting at the main entrance, kind of walking around all the way to the White Bridge and then back all the way back to the parking lot. And it's, I would say it's 1.5 miles, somewhere in there. So it's, you know, if there are some people that couldn't handle the whole thing, they can kind of cut across. But it's just a really nice spot, very private, and I think it's going to be. Hopefully, we'll get more people here. Yeah. So if anyone has groups or any ideas on who to invite, I'd welcome any help. We talked a little bit about you know, involving law enforcement possibly, and was that Elin, I think, was talking about that.
Yeah.
Also,
oh, sorry.
that would be amazing if you could.
Yeah, I will shoot you an email. I can speak to Albany Police Department, Albany Sheriff's Office, Parole and Probation, and NAACP if you haven't yet.
I contacted NAACP and they have a wellness program, so I'm hoping to get a turnout with them as well.
Okay, cool.
But if anyone has any groups they think that would just want to get outside and chat and kind of partnering with Allison, I mean, this is a perfect opportunity to have the community say, what are you guys doing? And we can talk to them at a nice venue on a walk and just, you know, just kind of tell them what we're all about. And, you know, and just talk about equity, diversion, and inclusion. I mean, I think that's our goal. And I just you know, just kind of getting our point across in a nice venue. So I look for any help or any groups you think that would need to get outside. The path is very flat. It's good for wheelchairs. There is dogs there. If you have a leash, dogs, you know, potentially could also be included. So I'm just, you know, just whatever people have, I'm open towards that. And even some of the Hispanic groups would be welcome. I think that'd be amazing as well. So anyways, just walked the route and it was great. Plenty of parking. There's a little bit of a smell, but I mean, it is what it is. But other than that, yeah, that's so far on my project.
Greg, did you have a time for that?
I'm planning on doing it in the morning, 10 a.m.
10 a.m.?
10 a.m., yeah.
Okay. I'm just making sure I get that in my calendar. And then
okay.
I made a note of it. And what I'll do, if you can email me like a couple paragraphs on like basically everything you just said with a little bit about
Sure.
what the goal of the walk is, I can send that to like all of the community partners we had for Pride, as well as the organization's booth. So I have that listserv set up to do that. Kim?
I cleared it with the folks who manage Talking Water Gardens, and they said, awesome. Thank you so
great.
much for wanting to be out there. I asked about the walk and roll aspect, and they said, you're going to want to go out there to make sure that, you know, that some of the inclines, as you know, it is a natural path. But if Greg, you were out there last night, then I say we give it a go. Do we want to call it the walk and roll? Because Matt has started working on a graphic, and if we're okay with that, then hopefully that'll be done by the end of the week, so that folks can start sending that out.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Greg, just out of curiosity, did you roll anything while you were there?
I did not roll. I walked, but certainly a bike or wheelchair, anything is. I mean, it's really flat. There's no grades.
Okay.
There's nothing that could possibly be dangerous, or there's no stairs or anything like that. So it's pretty flat. So, you know, seniors.
Is it gravel?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it gravel?
Yeah, it's
Greg?
packed gravel.
There's
Okay.
there's a variety
gravel,
of
so it's
surfaces.
essential. Yeah, I think there's there's a wooden bridge, and
Yeah.
then there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stop off areas. So I mean, if people want to just to hang out and rest, I mean, that's fine too. But
Okay.
no, I think Allison's idea of just talking to people and say, what do you guys do? And you know, we can kind of handle some of her concerns and I don't know, just kind of a fun community event is what I'm looking for, to bring different cultures together, kind of original goal, and just getting outside.
Great. All right. And then with that, we've reached the end of our agenda. Is there any business from any commissioners?
Did we do the, did we do the events? Did we talk about the events?
Events debrief was not on our agenda, but we can debrief on, Robin and I did some boothing at the market this past Saturday.
Yeah,
Cool.
we talked to a lot of people, I thought. I mean, and they left us on our little flip pad a number of things of which I took suggestions, which I took pictures of.
Awesome.
Did you ever get the paperback, Keith, from the folks at the Art Commission?
I didn't, but I was going to email them and ask for it if you didn't have photos.
I know they were going to give it back to you. Okay, and just to read some of the things, somebody was looking for community-run parenting classes, free, not at LBCC.
Okay.
Okay, should I go ahead and recite these? It's not that many.
Did we get any? Do you know who that came from, or was it just left on the pad?
It was a kindergarten teacher, but I don't remember her name. It was left on the pad as well.
Okay, darn, because I know resources for that.
What's that? You know resources.
I know plenty of resources for that.
That's awesome. Partner with Jackson Street Youth Services. That was the person from Jackson Street. Help people grow their own food. Community garden promotion / that sort of thing. Be present at all markets and other events, city events. That was good. Educate the community. That's to be loud, somebody said. And have Spanish language and support capacity, Spanish language capacity and support Festival Latino was the last one.
Great. And then my only business from me would be, I did want to make sure folks saw that there was communication from the Anti-Defamation League to our mayor and council. I haven't heard any updates on whether they have scheduled a time for the ADL to come to a meeting or what that looks like. Have you heard anything, Kim? Okay. Yeah, so I would just encourage the commissioners to keep an eye on city council agendas. If I hear about it, I will let you all know via Kim or Gina to let all of you know when they will be here so that we can support those efforts. Allison?
I just wanted to, I feel like we've kind of dropped off in the conversation about Festival Latino. And I think it was in part just not the space, like being able to find a location for it. And I don't remember who was kind of like the liaison to working on that. But Kim, I wanted to ask you, because I know that this is an event the HAC really wants to do, and I recognize it may not happen this year because of timing and whatnot. But it seems like some of the summer concert series that Parks and Rec does would dovetail nicely with something like this. And I don't know if you can just let us know how are artists decided for these shows?
Sure. So there's an opportunity for River Rhythms. We work through a booking agency. Through Summer Sounds, folks can let us know if they're interested in applying. And then we kind of take a look at what our our finances are and what scheduling looks like, and try to figure out if we can pull decent numbers. And so that's kind of what it looks like at this point. I know that there, excuse me, has been conversation from the HAC in hopes that the city will take over the planning and logistics of it. And I that is not at this point an opportunity to move forward, but I as we head into planning for next year, it is certainly something that we could look to see, you know, if a Latinx band or, you know, it could be a part of maybe a Summer Sounds, and what that could potentially look like. But I would need to go back and kind of double check on a few things.
Thank you for that support.
Thanks.
Miriam?
I kind of want to speak on that too, Kim. Just because I have noticed in the pretty much all of my life, I've lived in Albany and it's been 12 years, that a lot of these artists are white. And I think the purpose of HRC, since we're all here, is to ensure that there is representation, equity, diversity, and justice for me. And seeing that this is part of a community building opportunity, I would like to see more people of color in these areas. So if there is anything I feel like the HRC can do to push this forward, advocate for this, you know, I think this is something that I feel like we can do as HRC. And so I really just want to go along, like be in favor of what Allison also said about how important it is to have representation in these areas. So if there is something we can do to advocate for this, push it this way, I know your hands are tied when it comes to this, but I think ensuring and letting the public know that we see them, we hear them, and this is something that we could definitely advocate for. I think it would speak volumes, but I definitely do want to see more representation. Thank you.
Yeah, and if there's any opportunity, Kim, you know, I know it can make the process longer, but I do think it has a big payoff to engage some of the community organizations in whether it's an advisory board. I know Parks and Rec has its own commission. I don't know if Parks and Rec commission are involved in that summer concert series decision making. So that might be an opportunity for Parks and Rec, right? Like, so how are we engaging people that are representing our communities here in actually doing some of that programming guidance? Because somebody asked me, they're like, how did Debbie Gibson come here? And I was like, I don't know who chose.
And so that's our team. So we work through a booking agent, and it's putting pieces of the puzzle together as to who we can afford and who we think's and who's in town. So we have a long list. You can always send me a list of names, as I've got them on my phone, that as you hear people or see folks, it gets added, and then throughout the year it gets whittled down as to what is actually doable. So
or even just if you're able to share that information about how people can apply for Summer Sounds, like that would be a great spot, because there are a lot of really talented Latina musicians in this area, right? That I do think would pull big numbers and would fit within the budget that you all have.
Yes. And also with that too, I know I've heard from the Latinx community, the Latina community, that they want to have something that is culturally, not like the Festival Latino, but like a dance. It's called a baile. People want to go out, spend time, dance. And I've been hearing so much from people. It's like, why can't we have a baile? They do it in Salem, they do it in Portland. Is there a way we can, you know, this is our community, to be able to create a space where we have music, people are dancing, you know, to music that they grew up to, like something like that. I feel would also bring the community together, especially when talking to the Latina community, they kind of feel left out, to be honest. So I just want to bring that forth of something that it would be culturally, it would make them feel like they belong in Albany.
Great. Thank you for all that feedback and info.
Keith, I was going to ask you, did
Yes.
the ADL, were they responding to an incident to speak to city council, or were they just coming to do their?
No, so Councillor Novak made some comments that many people felt were anti-Semitic or covertly anti-Semitic, and that that kind of speech from a city councillor needs to be addressed, and that it's an opportunity for the council to learn from the ADL what that language is and what it represents, and how something that a lot of people would hear and think, oh, that's, you know, something of opinion, or that's a theory that someone has and it's accepted in common conversation. And when really those are kind of like keywords and entry points to larger concepts and language that are result in anti-Semitic.
Was this something said in council?
Yes.
Gotcha.
It was the May 24th meeting.
Okay.
So yeah, the ADL heard about the incident, and so they wanted to come, and they reached out to the mayor and council, and I think they're talking about doing a presentation, and I don't know what all that could look like, but I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware.
I think that would be one of those meetings that hopefully she's able to attend.
Yeah.
I would like to attend it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Second
think
that.
it'd be really meaningful if as many of us from the HRC could attend that.
Mhm. Yes, and members of the community as well.
Mhm.
All right, any other business from Kim?
Oh, sorry. And tying it back to the Unity Walk, does anybody want to reach out to Rabbi Bressler or anybody else to see if potentially the group would want to be involved?
Yeah, I have his contact info. Gina?
Kim, back to the,
I was just going to ask, can I get that list from you, Robin, that listed the suggestions people had at the Saturday market?
I'll just go ahead and email you those pictures if that's okay, Gina.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Great. Any other business from the commission? Great. With that, I will go ahead and call this meeting adjourned at 7:12 p.m.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks all.
Thank you all.
thank you.